Okay, Gary, here's the promised book tour. It's May 30, 2016, and we are about to enter my living room. So I have just some artsy things I put up here. I had no way to put them, so I figured I have like no real space, so I used the side of the bookcase. Okay, so this bookcase here, you can see I have some Farscape items in here. These are all duplicates. There's books in front of books. So let's see here. It's a little bit hard to, with one hand, to do this, but let's see what's back here. There's books behind books, and down here I've got lots of big art books and things. And let's see. So these are all duplicates again. I either have them again in hardcover or soft cover. There's books back behind the Russell book over there. I think I have 2 or 3 of those big Russell books. That's a nice collectible. Okay, Henry Farney. So, up on top here, I have binders with lots of stuff downloaded from the internet, and I label each one. I have a file in the computer, so if I want to look something up, it'll say, binder number 4, and then I'll go look for binder number 4. Not that I have time for any of that because I have so busy with the books. Who's got time to read the binders? That's a Howard Terpning poster. It's not an actual print, it's a poster, but I framed it, and the frame was more expensive than the poster. But I think it looks really good. Over here I have, these are more like young adult books on the West. And then I have some paperbacks over here. I'm just out of room. I make use of any little box I could find. So this is a cool little box, so I put books in it. Again, over here more. And down here I've got these I bought at a store called the Container Store, but they're very expensive, so I'm not buying any more right now. There's down here, and everything is I have files in the computer that tells me where everything is. So if I want to know something by okay, here, James Keene, I can go to my file in the computer and look it up, and I'll know where to go find it. Okay, so continuing along. By the way, these books in here, these paperbacks, these are from England. These are Corgi that I purchased. Some of them I actually got from England, one of the sellers on eBay. But this one here, the wooden leg, that I found in a store in New York City. So try to use them as art because they're cool. I'm not going to read them. I have other copies to read. I just like the covers. Up here I've got George Catlin books, and there's books behind here, George Catlin, and there's also Mountain Men books up here, and these are all books on the Mountain Men. And down here, Mountain Men, the whole shelf behind the paperbacks. And then down here, more Mountain Men. And then over here I've got these Lakeside Press books. So I just stacked them on top of one another. This one is Among the Indians by Baller. Did you tell me you read that recently? I think you did. That was a good book. Down here I've got journals and memoirs from soldiers. So you have Bork, Captain Carter, Dodge, all kinds of stuff. This I just have nowhere to put, so it's just sitting here. In History of Indian Tribes of North America, hardcover, 3 volumes. That's a reprint. So down here, more books. Anson Mills, Charles Fremont. All stuff with first-hand soldier accounts. Okay, let's go over here to the next bookcase. Oh, and then up top, I have Civil War and American Revolution up here on top. Okay, so ahead of Batman. So this is basically everything Custer, 1876, George Crook on the top shelf here. Books behind books. Actually, let me go to this bookcase first. This is more Custer and 1876 and everything related, all the different campaigns. That's a copy of my book I did through Lulu, that with my little corrections that I made after the book came out. So I reprinted it myself. And let's see here. So here's all these shelves of everything. Custer, Crook, Wichita, Sand Creek. Oh no, wait, actually Sand Creek is with the Cheyenne books. A lot of these Upton books down here. Now this down here also, I have more Custer and oversized, so that a lot of the Upton books are down here. Some art books I have nowhere to put, so Bev Doolittle. And then I've got some books on like Western trails and landmarks in the corner over here. Let me sit. Okay. Here are like histories of relating to the cavalry and the infantry. So I have United States Cavalry, United States Infantry by Gregory Irwin, The Frontier Army and the Settlement of the West by Tate, books on Buffalo Soldiers. Here's the Hugh Lennox Scott book. These are biographies basically here. Dodge, Crook. This is a book on the Bozeman Trail. Just basically here, Miles, Hancock, Patrick, Edward Connor, John Bork. Okay, time to get up. Oh, my body's too old for this. Okay, so over here I've got War Eagle by King, James T. King. And these are more books here on the Western Indian Wars, biographies, Mackenzie, Sheridan, Pope, Sherman, Miles. And then I've got over here, this starting over here on the left side is like frontiersmen and Westerners. So I've got John Simpson Smith, Thomas Henry Tibbles, Old Jules, Crow Killer, Olivia Eating Johnston, Tom Horn. Those are the two new books on Tom Horn. Gallery of Dudes, Buffalo Bill. What's over here? Frank Linderman, William Fairholme, Journal of an Expedition to the Grand Prairies, 1840. That I have, I gotta put that in the Mountain Man section too. I gotta think about that. Frank Groward, Finn Burnett, Kit Carson. So basically, just all frontiersmen. California Joe. There's the updated version of Crow Killer. What's this? From Fort Laramie to Wounded Knee, basically Charles W. Allen's reminiscences. Now that's something that could also maybe go with the Sioux books, but I'll keep it over here. And again, so these books here are all frontier personality people: Jack Crawford, Hickok, James H. Cook. I even have a biography here of Edward Curtis. I've got this book here is Man of the Plains, Luther North. This is a book that I printed up myself. And it was color, and I basically took photographs that I collected from either the internet or postcards, and some of them they were black and white, but I made all of them like a sepia color, and made a little book for myself. So let's see. I think I went through that already. Up on top, these boxes here, I actually get these boxes from work. When we order paper, I take the boxes, and all of these boxes have duplicates in them, mostly hardcovers of frontier fiction. So like the things that I really, books that I've loved, I'll have 2 copies, and I'll keep the mint copy up here, or as close to mint as possible. So those are, I would take them down and open them up, but it's just too much right now to do that. Over here I have more binders with articles, and here this bookcase has, top shelf is all Sioux, more on the Sioux, and everything related. Crazy Horse, Red Cloud, Wounded Knee, Sitting Bull. Now on this shelf here, on the right hand side is more books with the Sioux, and then it, as I go left, it turns into books on the Cheyenne. And down here you'll recognize this is that Peter Powell 2-volume. In here all books on the Cheyenne, Dull Knife, Sand Creek, Wichita. This is the other book, 2-volume by Peter Powell. And back here I have more books on the Cheyenne. And then it goes over here on the side. I got Pawnee, Blackfoot, and Cheyenne. I have books on Blackfoot and Pawnee elsewhere, but I used the Cheyenne as my reference on that book. Oh, there's your book, Monacita, and the other one is right next to it. You know what it looks like, but there it is. The Cinnabon in the corner there. Down here I have Kiowa. Over here, I really wish I had another bookcase or 2. Moves over into Arapahoe, Osage, Flathead and Kootenai, Ponca, Standing Bear, Osage. Down here on the bottom I've got Comanche, Shoshone, okay, oh my knees. Okay, let's see. Up here I have all kinds of in here I have like the LBHA and CBHMA newsletters in here, and I've got Wild West History Association magazines. I have a binder with maps that I've collected over the years. There's probably maps elsewhere too. This one here, Mark's Memories, all stuff like special things related to like my book, reviews, or just postcards from Jerry Green or Paul Hedren, and I just save them, so I have kind of like a record of those things. Over here I just have some odds and ends, some magazines, and these things have to get put away over here. I have to find places. These are stuff I collected. Well, this is from the cemetery where my dad is, when they had a sculpture, a guy that did a sculpture of who was it? Was it a Mandan Indian? I forget now, but he copied from a painting of George Catlin. They put up the statue from a painting of George Catlin's. Was it a painting of Catlin? Oh, something to do with George Catlin. And the guy did a statue a few years ago, so I took a bunch of those magazines from the cemetery. Some odds and ends. This is when I was living out west. I got like a tour book of Wyoming. I save everything. Okay, over here. This is basically American Frontier, just general stuff. D. Brown, The Plains Across, Exploring the Northern Plains, Grinnell, Beyond the Old Frontier, Astoria, and Empire. The Year of Decision, 1846, by Bernard DeVoto. Gunfight, A Nation is hiding back here. Let's see what's behind that. Hard to get to. Wait. Some books by Murray Sandos, Richard Slotkin, The Plainsmen of the Yellowstone by Brown, Eyewitness to the Old West, Way Out West, Adventure Trails. So basically just, all frontier history. Down here, I move into general history of American Indians. This is a still from How the West Was Won, the movie. So over here, actually on the right-hand side, I have books on the buffalo. There's maybe 4 or 5 books on the buffalo. Then I got the Mustangs. And then it moves over into American Indian history. Tribal Wars of the Southern Plains. And down here, more books on Native American history. And then you can't read all the titles, but here's Ghost Dance, James Mooney, Red Man's West. These are articles from Montana Magazine. So these books here I actually got from who was that guy in Germany that sent me all these books. You should recognize these. So all those kind of books are down here. This is a pretty cool book, Buckskin and Buffalo. Okay, let's see. Moving over to this bookcase. Okay, on top I've got some more binders, and then I have, it's hard to see over here, but on the left, let me see if I can get better lighting. I can't. There's a bookcase up there I put on its side, but there's maybe some better lighting. So all the way on the left I have like Greasy Grass, and I think the Crow's Nest is up there. It is, the Crow's Nest is up there. And all the Custer Battlefield Association magazines, everything related to that I got in the middle here. Why is the lighting so bad? Yeah. National Geographics are up there, Montana Magazine of Western History. I got some book catalogs on the right over here. Heritage, they're called. American Indian Art Magazine, and just some odds and ends. So now in this bookcase here, on top, I can't pull, it's just too much here to pull out, but because I have books in front of books, but the top shelf is all Nez Perce and Cayuse and basically the Pacific Northwest. Let's see. I wish I could pull that book out too, but I've, here's Hand Me My Chiefs, Jerome Green's Nez Perce Summer, Yellow Wolf. So all books about the Nez Perce. There's my Lone Ranger mini collectible lunchbox. These are all ledger art books over here. Some of them are on the side, so let me see if I could get some of these out. Like, what's this? These are hard to get. Oh, so here's the Morning Star Gallery, Arrow Elks Society ledger. What's this one here? If I put them in where I could see the spine, the books are too long for the bookcase, so they don't fit. So this one here is Spirit Beings and Sundancers, Black Hawk's Vision of the Lakota World by Janet Catherine Burlow. So lots of stuff here. What's this one at the end? Oh, this is the one that you got too, the Cheyenne Arapaho Ledger. I have to read that. You might have read yours already. I gotta read mine. Over here I have more books on the Nez Perce. And again, ledger art. In this book here, Chief Joseph Yellow Wolf and the Creation of Nez Perce History in the Pacific Northwest by Robert R. McCoy. I'm going to read that book, try to read it this year. Down here I have more general Indian Wars. I say more, I mean, it's not more, it's where it starts. So I got like Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, and Soldier and Brave, Hostiles and Horse Soldiers, The Papers of the Order of Indian Wars, Vanishing Race. It's a cool little pamphlet. Indian Yell, Massacres of the Mountains,